Hi people, welcome back to my YouTube. It's your girl Honey. So those of you who are new here, welcome to my channel. I am a Western based astrologer based in London, and I focus on mainly the 12th house. That's more my speciality. 12th house people. I conduct readings on my website. I've got astrologers that I also work with and tarot card readers as well. My website is honeysastro.com. Make sure you guys click on that shit should you wish to book a reading. I'm also studying psychology and counseling as well, so it's like a counseling session sometimes when I do my readings, but yeah, it kind of just varies really depending on what reading you are booking. So today's topic, we are talking a lot about Saturn returns. And most of you will know that I do a lot of my videos based on my own personal experience, and you guys are there to relate to that. And I also kind of use other people's personal experience to kind of learn from each other, all right? So I am 29, I'm 30 in a couple of months, and Saturn return tends to make its rounds around 28 to 30 years old. So I'm in my Saturn return right here, right now. So I want to talk you through what kind of things do happen during this time. Now, Saturn is ruled by Capricorn, and Saturn always represents restrictions, rules, regulations, responsibilities, limitations. It's the granddaddy of karma. We can see, authoritative figures through Saturn as well. And whatever house you have Saturn in your chart, you'll tend to feel a little bit restricted here, but it's supposed to make us reconstruct that house. Now, I have my Saturn in my 9th house. 9th house is the house of higher learning, foreign lands, languages, culture, belief system, spirituality and religion. And for me to have Saturn in there, I always say this, but I've always been someone who has traveled a lot as a child. So mum took me everywhere. I went everywhere with her. We traveled everywhere. And it wasn't until I became an adult and where I realized that, well, actually, I'm not going nowhere. Like, I'm not booking flights like my friends are booking flights. Where am I? I'm still stuck here in London. What's going on? And I remember saying to myself, I don't care about going to Ibiza. I don't care about going Ayia Napa. Like, I don't care right now because, again, Saturn is in my 9th house. So my mind, remember, this is mindset. This is our belief. So my 9th house being my belief was I don't have to travel anywhere. So fast forward now, when I turn 28, and when you guys do turn 28, you'll realize when Saturn enters into a particular house, it doesn't want to feel so restricted there anymore. So hear me out, because I'm not finished, all right? I'm not finished. So when I turned 28, I booked lots of holidays that year. I went to Greece, I went to Turkey, I went to Grenada, I went to Caracu, I went to all these different places, these islands. And the following year, I went to New York, I went to Mexico, and then I went to Qatar. So I traveled quite a bit in the short space of time. So that's what I'm saying. When your Saturn return is approaching, you rush a lot of these things that you haven't done because you was restricted there before. And then when your Saturn return officially hits, so my Saturn return officially hit me in January just gone. My Saturn is at 25 degrees Capricorn, and Saturn was at about 23 when I actually got hit really bad. Pull up your birth chart and have a look to see what aspects you have to your Saturn, because that's going to be a major effect as well. So for me, before I go into me, look at Venus. People who have Saturn in aspect to your Venus is your love, your relationships, your partnerships, your self-esteem, your beauty, and your money. So Saturn comes around, Saturn's like, nah, fuck that shit. You ain't beautiful no more. Or we're going to change how you feel about yourself, your self-esteem. We're also going to make you break up with your partner, restrict a relationship or relationship problems. We also see money being a big thing as well. People lose their jobs. We see that a lot. Losing their jobs, waiting for money. When you think about Saturn squaring Mars or aspecting Mars, health issues start to be built up during this time. When you see Saturn squaring the sun. That's what I've got. So I'm an Aries sun, and Saturn is in Capricorn squaring my sun. Now, sun represents our father figure. And for me, what happened in January was I had some horrible news. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, and it was very aggressive cancer. So we're like, fuck, like what more? I was having the time of my life until I got that phone call from my dad. The time of my life, yeah? And, we were devastated, obviously. And I remember waking up and going to bed every day. I'd wake up and I would cry. I'd go to sleep and I would cry. And because I'm living with my partner, it's like I feel guilty putting that amount of negativity in the house. So I try and like go in the car and cry, or I leave the room if I'm gonna cry. And he followed me every single time, and he would hug me every single time. When you're going through your Saturn return, you're gonna feel guilty and very depressed. Especially if you've got 12th house energy, you just feel guilty and depressed. And it's very important that you have someone that is in full support of you around you, because you just feel very restrictive. With the sun also being your ability to express yourself as well. Saturn squaring my sun, I just feel so like I can't be me. And also the sun is our soul's purpose. Like I've been telling everyone, make sure you're writing down your goals and your this and your that. I've not done mine yet. Like my aspirations are usually way up there. My list is usually so long. I'm all ready, but I'm not ready right now. I just feel so restricted. So let me just tell you how this kind of came about as well, right? So last year, around November, December time, I booked a flight to Qatar, and my friend lives out there, and it's been a long time since I've seen her, but it was so overdue. I had to go and see her, and it was the best holiday I have had. It was amazing. Like she did everything, and it was just brilliant. But she's born 2 weeks before me, and it's mad because our charts are very similar. We're both Aries suns, we're both Gemini risings, we're very similar. Our lives are very, very similar. So we're going through a lot of the similarities right now, but it's expressed very differently because obviously, I'm a late degree Aries and she is more of a early degree Aries. So her Saturn's not squaring her sun. So she's not having that dad issue, the health thing, whereas I am. But she is having some issues in reference to traveling. So we were planning a Saturn return holiday, and we were meant to go away around March time, and it was crazy because she's had some news where she can't travel certain times in the year or whatever. And I'm like, fuck's sake, man, this is just annoying. It's like, I'm ready to book a flight. Let's go. And I wanted to go away with her because, we're going through the same thing right now and she can't go nowhere. So I'm stuck here like, what the fuck? I'm stuck. But she's stuck as well. And this is down to Saturn restricting us. You see, the whole purpose of Saturn, it's about us adulting in that particular area. And it requires us to reconstruct things in the house that Saturn sits in. So yes, I feel very restricted. I can't travel anywhere. And also with my boyfriend, the plan was to go away, but he's making it long. And he's like, I'm an impatient Aries and ready to book right now. He's taking long to make things happen. I just feel very stuck and just static. And when you've got like things like on your arm, like you just feel like you just want to explode. Like you just feel so agitated. That's how I feel. Now, Saturn returns last roughly about 8 months or so. But it's not consistent. Like Saturn right now is still on my natal Saturn. It's still on my natal Saturn. But it's going direct, and it will go into Aquarius in about March time. And then it will go retrograde and then direct again from, I think, July or something. So once it goes retrograde, we do get hit again. Then it goes direct, then retrograde all over again, then we get hit again. So it happens to everybody, but everyone's expression of Saturn return will be very, very different. So what we should really be doing is taking responsibility here. Wherever Saturn is, we've got to take responsibility. So for me, I kind of definitely need to just take my time. And also, God, my studies, man. Studying is huge. And I remember when when I turned 28, I've not gone to university. You know, I went to college, but I never went to university. So when I turned 28, I was like, you know what, I really want to do psychology and counseling, you know. Like, I really want to. So I enrolled for the course, and it was crazy because that was the last day to do it. The last day. And I felt like, yes, the universe is pushing me towards to do this. So I have to start taking it, not start, but I've got to take it very seriously, because this is a time where I may feel very restricted, you know? So Saturn return is nasty for a lot of people, but it can also be very helpful for some to slow people down and to make us kind of reconstruct that area in our lives a little bit, because I definitely would have overindulged with traveling. I can't lie, you know, I want to go away so bad right now. But the people that I want to go away with, I can't, and I'm okay with that. It's just, I just feel stuck. Do you know what I mean? So I'd love to hear your stories about your Saturn return, what happened to you, what you did. And also, for those of you who are going through your second Saturn return, this is also a very hard time as well, because you have to take yourself back to those 30 so years ago and take yourself back and think, wow, what happened to me back then? Because the same lessons expressed differently will still arise. People, I'm out, and I look forward to your comments. Bye.